All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. It's so good when Chelsea wins. Just makes the weekend that much sweeter, and especially the long weekend that we've got going on in Australia just makes it that much better. And it just makes all other news, every other news, so fruitful to talk about. So we're gonna talk about quite a few things. We're of course going to talk a little bit about what transpired yesterday, and we're going to talk about some of the things, some of the observations that we had, ladies and gentlemen. I want to see how you feel about those observations as well. Next match is AC Milan. The momentum, we need to build on this, and we need to get better as well. We have to get better and better. So we're going to talk about that and what we could possibly try down the track, and some of the players that potentially needs to be given an opportunity. We want to talk about Leandro Trossard. Some of you guys laughed about him, like, hey, he's a Brighton player. We don't want to become Brighton now, do we? But he's banged in a hat trick, and I saw the extended highlights for that particular match. Brighton, they played some good football. Yes, of course, Liverpool came back with some of their good football as well, but you expect Liverpool to do that. That's Liverpool. But for Brighton to go toe-to-toe and play the brand of football that they were playing, and the way Trossard was delivering, that's something to be talked about. And I'm dead serious. I think Trossard at Chelsea Football Club under Graham Potter can do a bit of a madness. He is one of the sort of rising superstars in the Premier League, I'd have to say, right now. Outside of the top six, Leandro Trossard is a top baller. Before we carry on, I just saw this news. Sal, absolutely bang on. This is a sad news. Just a moment ago, I saw on Instagram. Condolences to the people in Indonesia. Honestly, that football should never be this, man. It's mad how, and this is why I always encourage in the live chat as well. Like, please have your senses. Like, don't insult another fan. Don't go off another fan. Have your point of view across, but please be sensible. It is football. As Jurgen Klopp once said during the lockdown, football is probably the most important out of the least important things. Do you know what I'm saying? This isn't everything in life. Like, if you haven't seen the news, please check out the news for the Indonesia situation with what happened recently in one of the games over there. I think something around 120 people died because of violence. I think some sort of violence that took place, and 120 people, like something like that, died, like over a football match. Oh man, that's not right. But anyway, Sal, thank you for that. We're going to talk about Rafael Leão. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy, once again, I saw the extended highlights of Empoli, and I've been watching a few of the AC Milan matches here and there, especially Rafael Leão. This guy is a beast. He really is. His physique, his strength, his pace, his finishing. This guy, he would suit Chelsea to the T. He would really suit Chelsea to the T. Rafael Leao is someone who will create stuff out of his own. Like, he doesn't need service. His technicality, his ability is unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? So we'll talk a little bit about Rafael Leao. I think if Todd Bowley is serious, which it seems like he is when it comes to transfer situation for Chelsea Football Club, Rafael Leao, Leandro Trossard should be on top of the list. It really should be on top of the list. And then obviously we're going to talk about Christopher Nkunku as well. Nkunku, once again, saw the highlights. Had a decent game, missed a penalty, but his close control, his movement, his pace, his finishing. Yes, I'm a bit concerned about Bundesliga and the Bundesliga tax with how open it is, but you can't take away his technical ability. Do you know what I mean? Um, Still, obviously, a bit of a question mark over how Nkunku will do in the Premier League, but you can't take away his his ability. And I think these three players, Trossard, Rafael Leão, and Nkunku, like, even if we manage to get 2 out of 3, I think that would be extremely, sensational for us. So we'll talk about all of this, ladies and gentlemen. 5 minutes in, 6 minutes in, we've got nearly 80 people. Smash the like button, try and get to 100 likes if we can. Thank you for each and every one of you guys for joining early Sunday or wherever you are in the afternoon. If you're in this part of the world, in Australasia sort of area, it'll be evening for you. So thank you for joining. Smash the like button, get those likes up to 50 immediately, and we'll try and progress towards 100 as we go. As I keep saying, the growth of the channel is down to the likes. And if you enjoy the channel, you enjoy the interaction, then make sure you do that. We're going to have some top conversation discussions today. I'm going to try and pick out some comments from the live chat as well and try and make a discussion out of it. First up, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the other players before we talk about Chelsea. I think it's prudent once we get everyone in, more people coming in, we'll talk about Chelsea. First of all, Leandro Trossard, ladies and gentlemen. This guy, sensational. It seems like this season he's going to a different level, and he's just getting better and better. Belgian international. This is the latest that's coming out from Fabrizio Romano. Obviously, Simon Phillips has tweeted this out. There's been a lot of talk about Leandro Trossard. Graham Potter is a big fan of Trossard, but at the moment, there's nothing going on with Chelsea. Look, the best part about this situation is in January, he could potentially sign for a free transfer for the summer, or there's going to be 6 months left and we could potentially, snap him up for a cheaper price, because he's only got 6 months left. He is electric. His pace, his finishing is what I'm very, very excited about. He's so clinical with his finishing. He's so decisive. There's no two ways about it. There's no, second thinking. He sees an opportunity, finishes. The way he absolutely made Trent Alexander-Arnold look like a fool for his first goal. Trent Alexander-Arnold was on his backside. Do you know what I mean? Trossard, great finish there. Second goal was also a decent finish, and the third one for the equalizer. And the way they play their football, man, it'll be it's something that we're trying to do, obviously, under Graham Potter at Chelsea Football Club. Leandro Trossard, ladies and gentlemen, this guy is going to get snapped up very soon by a top club. I wouldn't even be surprised if Liverpool's looking, because, he's banged in a hat-trick against Liverpool. I think it's the second time, apparently. I saw a tweet or I saw something. Let me just have a quick look at this. There was a Premier League tweet. Leandro Trossard became the first Brighton, so he's the first Brighton player to score a Premier League hat-trick. He's also just the third opposing player to score one at Anfield after Peter Ndlovu and Andrey Arshavin. So third one since Arshavin. First Brighton player to hit a hat-trick. That's fantastic, man. I think this guy, ladies and gentlemen, we need to keep an eye out for Leandro Trossard, because he's sensational. The hat-trick that he scored was absolutely brilliant. Let's see what you guys have to say about Leandro Trossard. Comments, give us some comments as to how you feel about Leandro Trossard, ladies and gentlemen. And would you be up for a player like Trossard in January? And I'm all up for it, man. Seriously, I would take this player completely. I mean, look, Ziyech's future, don't know, doesn't look that bright at Chelsea Football Club. Doesn't get opportunities as well, you can say, but that just means that you're not in the forefront of the manager's thinking. Do you know what I mean? Once again, he was an unused player yesterday's match against Crystal Palace. I'm pretty sure he'll feature soon. We've got a lot of matches coming up in October, but yesterday unused. Obviously, there's always question marks around what's happening with Christian Pulisic, although yesterday I liked his impact off the bench, and I want to see Christian Pulisic get a bit of start against AC Milan and then see what's going on from there. But yeah, Leandro Trossard, I think there's definitely a shot for him at Chelsea Football Club. I wish we find more rare gems, not big names. There should be a mix. You find the rare gems and then you mix it up with some big names as well. Rafael Leao was on the Champions League magazine show. Wow. I swear you could add De Bruyne and Prime Fabregas in this current Chelsea team and we'd still see millions of side passing. Our attack is bad as midfield cannot connect with them. Our defense is always exposed because anyone can run past our midfield like hit knife through butter. Midfield is the problem. And two-footed as well. Yeah, Trossard is two-footed, both left and right. He can pretty much score with both of them. Liverpool loves players who score and overperform against them. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm worried that they're going to try and probably tap up on Leandro Trossard now, and we should try and get on top of it. He gives Hazard vibes. Look, I won't go that far. I don't think Leandro Trossard's dribbling ability is in that manner, but he's explosive. Like, he's got good pace. He can take on his man, and he's got good finishing, but I don't think his prime Hazard level was crazy. Do you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean, Trossard is a bad player. Like, we're talking about prime Hazard. There's few and far between when we talk about that level of player. So, Krishna, good to see you, my man. I would love Trossard by Leao and Nkunku. I hope there is another clear out in the attack before we buy. Look, so we've lost a lot of attackers. We need more attackers, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've lost Lukaku, we've lost Timo Werner. Callum Hudson-Odoi has gone on loan as well. I know he may potentially come back, but I don't want to think about that as yet. I want him to develop. There is space open for a couple of attackers to come in. A couple of injuries now, and we're in trouble. Do you know what I mean? Ziyech, there's question mark. Pulisic, there's question mark as well. Look, if they can turn things around, fantastic. But right now, there is a question mark on them. So there is room. There is room for these sort of players to come in. Leao and Nkunku with Trossard, yeah, I honestly would think about Trossard as one to get immediately because he's got Premier League experience, because he understands Graham Potter's football. And he's an up-and-coming star right now, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to disregard that. So, and then between Leao and Nkunku, one of them, if we can get all three, wow, now that would be ambition. Do you know what I mean? Then unfortunately we sell Pulisic and Ziyech. Look, these two players will still have to prove their consistency. Do you know what I mean? As much as I appreciate what Pulisic did off the bench yesterday, there's still a question mark in regards to proving the consistency. So, I would still be open for looking at someone like Leandro Trossard. Now, ladies and gentlemen, next up, Rafael Leao. This guy, this is the real deal. I'm telling you, he is the real deal. He fits the kind of football that we play. He fits the kind of profile that we need. This guy doesn't need service. This guy doesn't need help. This guy is a one-man army, if I'm being honest, man. His physique, his pace, his strength, his finishing, that filthy finish against Empoli, that dink over the keeper. Oh my God. Oh my God, that takes some sort of technical ability, man. And he seems like he's got a strong character, man. Like, he's brute, like I reckon if he's running at you, it could look intimidating. He would be intimidating to defenders. He's got size, and I don't even think he's that old. How old is Rafael Leao? I don't even think he's that old. 23. So, like, he's probably got a few more years until he completely fills out. Do you know what I mean? So, Rafael Leao for me is the real deal. Sai Krishna is sharing something. Let's see, what is this all about? Okay, all right. I'll check this later on, man. Let's talk about Rafael Leao now. Okay. Look at this. Rafael Leao in Serie A this season, 4 goals, 4 assists, 4 goals, a goal assist every 70 minutes, 2.1 key passes per game, 3 big chances created, top talent. We've got AC Milan coming up next. I want Reece James. I want Reece James to be on this guy. You know, if there's one person that has some sort of a chance against him in defense, it's got to be Reece James. AC Milan ain't going to be easy, man. AC Milan is going to be a proper challenge for us next up. And this guy is an absolute X factor. Obviously, they've got Giroud, who's still so smart, such a smart operator. His footballing IQ, Giroud, is still there. And they've got some decent players, man. They've got some decent players. Obviously, Tomori in defense. I think from their defensive point of view, we can hopefully hurt them. We've got individual players that can hurt them. Aubameyang, Sterling, hopefully players like Gallagher and Pulisic get an opportunity in that game. We can hurt them. Can we be ruthless enough to finish things off? That's a separate story. But they definitely have players that can hurt us. And this guy is one of their biggest players. This guy he's a creative winger who scores goals as well. Like, he's the real deal, I'm telling you. I'm just amazed how Portugal doesn't use him. Portugal in the World Cup, if you're not using players like Rafael Leão, and as much as I like Ronaldo, man, I'm a Ronaldo fanboy. I'm not going to hide saying that. You guys would have seen, some of the videos that I had when I wanted Ronaldo at Chelsea Football Club in the transfer window. But I think not having Leao playing in Portugal, I think that's madness. This guy, damn good. Let's see what you guys have to say about this. Imagine how much more deadly we would be with Leao instead of Mount, and we should not. Honestly, no disrespect to Mason Mount, but this is different levels, man. Rafael Leao is different levels. Let's not try and compare that. Leao is part of the new era of Chelsea total football with all ballers. Yep. And do you know what? I think AC Milan is struggling at the moment to give him a new contract. They're offering him something around 6 million euros. I think that's less than £150,000 per week. I'm sure Chelsea will be able to offer him something bigger, nearly about 200k. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's mad how, AC Milan's in a conversation with a new contract, and potentially Leao could still stick around over there. I wouldn't, man. I wouldn't. Like, I would make that switch to the Premier League and really, give yourself the opportunity to compete against some of the best. This is your time now. You're 23. Come to the Premier League. 24, 25. You're going to start hitting your prime ages. Time to play in the Premier League, man. And Rafael Leao is I think his agent is Jorge Mendes, who's very close to, seems like Jorge Mendes has a very good relationship with Todd Bowley. Todd Bowley needs to be on this deal. There seems to be some sort of a court case as well with Leao and is it Sporting or someone like that, or Porto? I think it might be Sporting, where he owes them 20 million or something like that. Like, Todd, strike a deal with Jorge Mendes and pay out that 20 million and buy this particular player. Give him a smart wage, and I think he would more than happily be a Chelsea player, man. I think Man City is looking at Rafael Leao. Nah. I don't know whether he would fit Man City either. I don't think he's a systems kind of player where the way Man City like their players to be, pass. He's more sort of in that Grealish nature, I feel like, Rafael Leao, more individual. And I feel he would more suit us. That's just my thought process around this. I don't see him coming unless we pay 100 million or Pulisic goes the other way. Yeah, why not? Why don't we pay 100 million? Why not? We're looking to pay 30 million on 17-year-olds. Let's get a big-time baller. Do you know what I mean? Todd Bowley doesn't seem to be worried about money. He's going out there buying other clubs. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't seem like he's concerned about spending the money if it's for the right cause. And net out bring the price down a little bit if you can. If we can send Pulisic and Ziyech over there, if that's something that can be done. But why not? Why not spend that level of money? I think it'll be worthwhile. The thing is, if City are in for Leao and so is Chelsea, you'd think he'd choose to play for City. And under Pep, City's project is fire than us. Look, I get that, but I feel like Leao is more like a Grealish type of a player. I don't know whether he completely fits in that. He could possibly do. I mean, Pep Guardiola is an unbelievable manager, so he could possibly do that. But I think he more suits us. But the thing is, we have to make top four. We've got to make top four. These type of players, maybe Leandro Trossard could possibly still come to Chelsea Football Club if we don't make top four. But players like Leao, he's playing Champions League already. We have to make Champions League in order to get players like Leao. Do you know what I mean? So imperative that we do well, and imperative that we progress to the next round in the Champions League, man. It's so crucial. These upcoming 2 matches against AC Milan. Hopefully we can do the trick against them. Leao's literally Grealish before City move. Yeah, that's what I think as well. 100 million is stupid money if that's not prime Messi. Robbie, these days, everything is stupid money, unfortunately. Like, gone are those days, man. Like, think about Chukwuemeka. Chukwuemeka was 20 million. He barely played that many games for Aston Villa. Yes, up and coming star. I get it, but 20 million. Luke Harris from Fulham that we've recently been linked for is gone. He's touted to be around 30 million. Look, nothing makes sense these days in terms of money. You're right, 100 million. Let's get prime Messi. Messi probably now is still going to go off that for that price. Like, money is crazy at the moment in football. So, yeah, we can sit here and talk. Like, even Declan Rice, when I joke around, or some of you guys joke around, 100 million West Ham. West Ham values that player at 100 million. What can you do? He is one of their main players, if not the main player. That's why they value him that much. Whether we value him that much or not, that's a separate story. Jude Bellingham is touted to be 150 million or 130 million. Do you think anyone should be worth that much? Shouldn't, but that's what we are operating in at the moment. T1, thank you so much for the super chat. I think big name attackers are weary of Chelsea right now. If Potter is able to demonstrate good attacking football by the end of the season, maybe. Yeah, look, right now, it is difficult to attract some of these players, but, you know, if, as you said, if the results go our way, we make top four at least, hopefully we can get out of this group stage in the Champions League and move on to the next phase, go as far as possible in the Champions League. But why not? It's still a Chelsea Football Club, don't get me wrong, man. It's an attraction in London. Do you know what I mean? It's a massive attraction in London. Right now, we might not be playing the greatest football. Arsenal's playing a very, very good brand of football. But, you know, we should not be taken lightly one bit. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's now talk about Christopher Nkunku. So these are a couple of the tweets that's going on. Let's have a look at what Fabrizio Romano had to say. All parties involved in Christopher Nkunku deal wanted to keep Chelsea Medical's secret, but it really took place a few weeks ago. Not done yet, as Chelsea and Leipzig will discuss about fee payment terms, Plan B triggering 60 million euros clause in 2023. Christopher Nkunku has had his medical with Chelsea. It was not a personal medical. Chelsea staff were there, and it was for Chelsea. Chelsea have sent a proposal to the player, which he's happy with. With Leipzig, there is still work to do on an agreement. So look, something definitely is going on. And some form of medical did happen. Some people were saying maybe that medical happened due to some sort of insurance case. I don't know what that really means. But apparently a contract was sort of provided, not an official one, some sort of contract was provided. And initial thoughts from Nkunku was that he likes it. And it's a long-term contract. I'm pretty sure Todd Bowley, would have given him like a 5-6 year contract with smart wages as well. And he would have liked it. Do you know what I mean? Long-term future set. From what I've seen last night against, I think they played Bochum, the German team. Once again, his second goal was a nice, very good finish. Can't remember who provided that assist. I think it might have been Fosberg or something like that who provided that assist. Lovely finish with his right. Then there was a penalty that he missed as well, but there was another penalty that he got. But it's his close control. His close control is very good. His technical ability is very good. His ball control is very good. He's got pace. He can definitely play as a false nine, but I think he's far more suited as a second striker behind a striker. He's another interesting prospect, no doubt about that. Christopher Nkunku is definitely a very, very good player. What he's going to do when you get put up against low blocks in Chelsea, in the Premier League, that's a different case. That's something to think about. But I don't think we should get too worried about the sense that Timo Werner didn't work out. It gives us the same vibes. This guy's, as I said, his close control with the ball is a lot better. The other factor about Christopher Nkunku, ladies and gentlemen, is he's a free kick specialist. We don't have set piece specialists. This guy can actually score from free kicks. That's something that we badly, badly need. Total diversity. Let's get Nkunku. That would be a terrific signing. He even has the name that screams success, Drogba Nkunku. Yeah, absolutely, man. Sell Mount for 150 million to Man City or Liverpool, then we will have the money. Miz, again, PR news for Nkunku. Yep, absolutely. Miz, I'm starting to think Mount is perhaps not a top 4 player. He'd be great for Villa, West Ham or Everton, but I'm not sure he has the ability to be a top 4 player. I mean, we'll talk about all of this very, very soon when we talk about Chelsea. Let's recap all the Nkunku stuff and then we'll move on to Chelsea. I just see a Bundesliga player linked and I just see vibes just like Werner Havertz, only Ballack performed. Now, I hear you, man. I hear you. Like, I understand the worry. I'm worried as well with Bundesliga players, but I think with Nkunku, it might not be that case. You can tell when he's got the ball. It's different abilities. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can tell that he can transfer those qualities in the Premier League and it may just work out because he can link up. As I said, close control is good. He can beat a man. He's got pace. So, and the shooting, the finishing, he's got very, very good finishing. So, and the fact that he's able to take care of set pieces. We at Chelsea Football Club, we are screaming for some set piece specialists, man. It's mad the amount of set pieces that we get and it transpires to nothing. We should be able to get goals from these set pieces. And do you know what I mean? Like, gone are those days when, even Willian from set pieces, from free kicks, Frank Lampard, Didier Drogba, do you know what I mean? Ballack. Like, there were some proper players that were able to take free kicks, man. And now we're struggling with free. Even Marcos Alonso was a decent free kick taker. Like, now we're struggling. Are you worried by German league players struggling in EPL? I know we've seen the likes of Sonny, Haaland, and Gundogan doing well. Yeah, there you go. Like, there are players that have done well. Son from Leverkusen, he's done well. Not many people talk about this. Haaland is just a beast. I think he'll do well anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Gundogan, someone who's very well versed to play that close control football. I think Nkunku can do that. I really think Nkunku can do that. Okay, let's have a quick look at what Ben Jacobs has to say about this, and then we'll talk about Chelsea. Bit more on Christopher Nkunku. Despite denials from certain parties, still told a medical did take place in late August, and that Nkunku, without signing anything, has verbally indicated he's happy with Chelsea's terms. There is no agreement yet between Chelsea and Leipzig. Further goes on to say, Chelsea do have the option of triggering the 58.2 million release clause, which is active next summer. When Nkunku signed his new contract over the summer, it was because he didn't want to change before the World Cup. Understandable. Didn't want uncertainty before World Cup. Fair enough. PSG did also consider buying Nkunku back, but have decided against it for now. The Chelsea medical doesn't stop other clubs entering the race, but it makes CFC front runners. That's great. Like, you know, sometimes we question, it seems to be so early. Like, few people has commented on my recent videos in regards to Nkunku saying, oh, Miz, you're the one who wanted things to be early. Now it's early. What's the point? No, this is way too early. There's early and this is way too early. I'm talking about in the transfer market, doing a business early then. Do you know what I mean? Try and strike a deal, get the medical done and moving, like not dragging out a saga. This, we're talking about triggering this in next summer, like this, and then doing this now, fine. Yes, it's put us in the front runner's position, but it doesn't mean all other people can't come in. Do you know what I mean? Like for me, great to do the groundwork and whatnot, and you want to do part of the medical, fine, but it's for next summer. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. So when I said that we need to do things quicker, I was more talking about doing things quicker within the transfer window. That's what I was more referring to. Told Chelsea may choose to further get a jump on their rivals by trying to negotiate a deal that's different to the release clause with a more preferable structure. The clause itself is lower than Nkunku's market value, so it's likely there will be lots of interest. Further goes on to say, also a reminder, players can and do agree terms with multiple clubs, nothing stopping Nkunku doing the same. The release clause is 52.8 million. So look, ladies and gentlemen, if we can put the groundworks for this player, if we can get him, I don't think it might be a bad thing for us. I think it might just work out. Digital Film Reviews, thank you for this comment. He will need to beat a low block, which means he needs high IQ movement in and around the box and a good technical ability. And I think he possesses this. And this is a fantastic comment, Digital Film Reviews. I think he possesses this completely. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Chelsea now for the final part of this stream. Ladies and gentlemen, over 170 live. We've only got 49 likes. I sincerely ask each and every one of you guys to bump up the likes to 100 immediately. So paramount to the growth of the channel. If you enjoy the channel, if you enjoy the interaction, you enjoy the discussion, please, ladies and gentlemen, smash the like button, push the likes up to 100 immediately. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe. We're getting very close to 17,000 subscribers. So let's do that. Later on today, we'll also do Manchester Derby watch along. So do look out for that. Christian has just shared a particular tweet about Frank Lampard. I have to say, he's doing the bits at Everton. I need to see him continue doing this. I want to see where Everton exactly finish, how they play. Right now, they're doing well. They're doing well. Back-to-back wins. Win against Southampton. Don't forget, we lost against Southampton. Back-to-back wins. Unbeaten in 7 games in all comps. Second best defensive record in the Premier League. That's well done to Frank Lampard, honestly. They're playing with a lot of grit and determination. Okay, let's talk about Chelsea. Ladies and gentlemen, come the match against AC Milan, I feel like a couple of changes need to be made. A couple of changes have to be made. I think continue playing. I don't know whether we would. I'd prefer to play the way we set up against Crystal Palace with the 4 at the back. I would prefer the 3, how we played against Salzburg. Again, bring that in and quite possibly look into, I don't know, I'll throw it up to you. Obviously, we'll do the preview down the track, but I may prefer Reece James in RCB position. Do you know what I mean? I may prefer Reece James, or it doesn't really matter. He can play in the right wing-back position. I've got no issues with that. If we play with a back 4, we can look at potentially having Reece James marking Rafael Leão on that side. So look, back 3, back 4, whatever it is, just have Reece James on Rafael Leão. That's one thing. The main factor that I want to talk about is Mason Mount and Kai Havertz. I think these 2 players, we need to give them some bench time. We need to give them some bench time. We need to give Conor Gallagher a proper run and allow him to be more advanced. The goal that he scored and where he was, that's where you want to see Mason Mount operate. Do you know what I mean? So if we had in the midfield, let's just say for argument's sake, the kind of setup that we had for against Crystal Palace, Jorginho, Kovacic, Mount. Instead of that, you have Jorginho, Kovacic, and Conor Gallagher. Jorginho, Kovacic more deeper, Conor Gallagher a little bit more advanced. I would like to see that. Having said that, of course, Jorginho and Kovacic, they didn't have a good game either. But these two, they'll quickly snap out of it. It's not like they've got a track record of consistently playing poor. No, Kovacic will snap out of it. We'll see the world-class Kovacic come back very, very soon. Jorginho obviously can have an odd game here and there. I didn't expect completely. Jorginho played in the international matches, so did Kovacic. Maybe they're a bit tired, fatigued, jet-lagged. I don't know. I thought maybe we could see a surprise package instead of Jorginho there. I know I did predict that Jorginho would possibly start, but there was conversation that Chalobah was playing in that position. But look, in the Champions League, you want experience, especially against teams like AC Milan. And you want to be able to control the ball a lot more. I think I'd probably prefer Jorginho to continue and Kovacic. And I think I would definitely want Conor Gallagher over Mason Mount. I would definitely want Conor Gallagher. So that's one thing I would like to see. And the other one is Kai Havertz. Do you know what? Yesterday, there was a lot of people that were giving me some comments saying, Kai wasn't even half bad. Kai wasn't that good. Kai wasn't that bad. He did some decent stuff. Do you know what? We're now falling into this trap with Kai Havertz. Sure, he didn't have a disastrous match, but he didn't do anything either. We're falling into this trap with Kai Havertz where we're okay with him to show good intensity. We're okay for him to make some clever movements. We're okay for him to show good attitude. These are basics. Like, these are given for a Chelsea footballer. Like, when you play for Chelsea, you need to have good intensity. You need to have, good attitude. Like, that should not be praiseworthy. Do you know what I mean? Like, that should not be like, oh, do you know what? They had a good game because that's the basic requirement. You need to give that. And now we're falling into the trap where, because how poor Havertz and Mount have been, that even a slight bit of improvement, even a slight bit of performance from them, we think that they've had a good game. Because our bar has been so low, anything just a bit above average, we start thinking that they've done well. No. We need a lot more from Kai Havertz. We do. We need production. We need goals. We need assists. I'm sorry, brother. We need that from you. This is why we talk about, Rafael Leão, Trossard, and Nkunku. We need production. It cannot all be Sterling and Aubameyang. They need help. Do you know what I mean? So, with Kai Havertz, once again, I think some time in the bench might be good. I thought maybe after that banger of a goal for Germany, he could come back at Chelsea all confident, but it was the same stuff. Yeah, good energy, good intensity, good attitude, some clever movements. But what did it transpire to? He had one chance, I think, just outside the box to take a shot, and it was wide. He did a very good dribbling. There was a good phase of attack where he dribbled, and then he was right in front of, just outside the box in front of the goals, and his shot was wide. We need production. So I would actually prefer Christian Pulisic coming in against AC Milan. Christian Pulisic, look, off the bench, good impact, man. That goal for Conor Gallagher, obviously, it was all Conor, but it was Christian Pulisic's bit of a run, bit of a dribble, and opening up that space for Conor Gallagher to open his body up to go for that shot. I liked, for the little bits of minutes that Christian Pulisic got, I liked what I saw. And I think that needs to be rewarded. I know we've all been critical about Christian Pulisic, and rightly so. All the stuff that he's doing outside of football is a bit of a madness. But I think it's time to reward the bits and pieces he's giving us. And it's time to reward and see what he can do against AC Milan and hope that he does well. Hope we get some production, some assists, maybe a cheeky goal. And then we can slowly build on that. One game at a time with Christian Pulisic. Give us high quality match, then you set yourself up for the next match. And meanwhile, while this is happening with Conor Gallagher and Christian Pulisic, Mason Mount and Kai Havertz can start thinking, yeah, we've got good competition. We've got proper competition coming up. Because right now, Mount and Havertz, they feel like there is no competition. Because they seem to be getting picked. They were getting picked under Thomas Tuchel. They're getting picked under Graham Potter, albeit 2 matches in, so I don't want to be too critical. But I would like to see these 2 changes. Bare minimum, these 2 changes. The other one that I want to quickly talk about before we wrap things up, ladies and gentlemen, smash the like button. Get those likes up to 100. Only 26 more likes to go to hit 100 likes. It'd be amazing if we can get to 100 likes in this live stream. Ben Chilwell, ladies and gentlemen, Ben Chilwell, that injury has affected him. It really has. It has. We need to be patient. I don't know whether he's going to get back to that level that he was prior to the injury, where he looked fast, dynamic, robust, getting into some really good positions inside the box to take shots. That Ben Chilwell just before the injury was brilliant. But this Ben Chilwell is a bit worried. He gets the ball. He doesn't have the confidence to move forward with it. He looks to pass it backwards. We need Cucurella back and I guess stay patient with Ben Chilwell, just slowly easing him in, man. Like that match against AC Milan, I don't know whether Cucurella is going to be ready. Apparently he's got some sort of illness, some throat issues. Hopefully he gets well. We need him. We need that dynamic pace of Cucurella. We need that quickness. Do you know what I mean? There was a time yesterday where Ben Chilwell, he was dwindling around with the ball and the ball was taken off him. He was sleeping. It was like he wasn't focused and the ball was just snatched off him like a little kid snatching off a lollipop from a little kid. Do you know what I mean? So Ben Chilwell, we need to be at our finest against AC Milan. We have to be. If we are looking to get a victory against AC Milan, we need to be at our finest. And in order to be at our finest, we need to play players that are on the ball right now. I think Conor Gallagher, Christian Pulisic, give them an opportunity because the other players are not on it. Wesley Fofana, some of you guys have mentioned Wesley Fofana in the live chat. Wesley Fofana, twice now I've seen something that I've not appreciated. Against Zagreb, it should have been him who should have tracked that run of that striker, Orsic. And yesterday, the ball falling in between him and he was unaware of his surroundings, what was going on. I know after that, Wesley Fofana was fairly okay, but we cannot afford to be a goal down. We cannot afford to concede. I would love us to have a clean sheet and sneak a 1-0 victory against AC Milan. Sneak it. Wesley Fofana needs to be focused. Yeah. Thiago Silva still tends to be our best defender. How often can we keep playing Thiago Silva? He's 38 now, is he? And he played in the international matches as well, man. Like, I don't know whether he can back it up again against AC Milan. Maybe he can, but then the weekend match is just around the corner, the Wolves game. We cannot be playing Thiago Silva match in, match out. Do you know what I mean? So some of these players, Wesley Fofana and all, they will need to wake up. Brian, Ms. Kai is not being played in the same position. He plays in German national team. I think he was more or less playing, he was a bit to the right side, but more or less playing in the central areas as well. So that freedom. Yes, yesterday's formation was a bit different. I think it was generally 4-2-2-2. He was playing 2, and then there was a 2 up top where Sterling was on that right side. Predominantly at times he came on the left side, and then Aubameyang was there too. I don't know whether I really liked that setup yesterday, to be honest. I'd rather us with Sterling to be on the left, where Chilwell was playing as a wing back, I believe, as a fullback. I'd rather us go back to a back three and have Sterling play as a proper left-sided winger, much like that Salzburg setup, 3-3-3-1. I like that setup a lot more. I like Sterling to be on that left side and Kai to be that free player just behind Aubameyang. So yeah, in a sense, you're right that he wasn't there yesterday in that position. He was more towards our right side. Kai Havertz, there was a lot of time he was on that right side, but he was angling into central areas. But we need better. We need better from him. Pulisic needs to keep his head high. Yep. Ben Chilwell is finished. Lucky we got Cucurella. I don't know about him being finished. Let's stay a bit patient before we can make that judgment. But yeah, it doesn't look good as yet. It doesn't look good as yet. Zakaria would be useful in this formation. I don't know where this brother is. He wasn't even in the squad yesterday, so I'm not really sure what's going on with him. Cucurella is better with the ball, but Chilwell is better in the attacking third. For Potter ball, Cucurella is better. Yeah, and Potter knows Cucurella, so there's that. Because we need to have a serious conversation on Jorginho and Kovacic, both atrocious for Prem football. If we don't get Alvarez in January, I'm worried. Look, I mean, I'm not going to lie that they've put on bad performances, but at the same time, this is a stretch, like atrocious. These two have, under Frank Lampard, the early stages, I remember, were brilliant. Even under Thomas Tuchel, these two were very, very good. Maybe not together, but separately, they were very good. Kovacic is a baller, man. I mean, yesterday was a stinker. I'm not taking that away. But he's a baller, man. He's an absolute baller. He'll come good. You know, Jorginho as well. Like, there are games where he's very, very good. We have to understand, Jorginho played for Italy 2 big games as well. So, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap things up very soon. Pulisic and Gallagher will have chances. Hopefully they do. Miz, do you play video games? Look, man, I used to. I want to. Let's see if I buy FIFA and PS5. I've told my wife, she's getting around it, so she's giving me the thumbs up for that. So we'll see. It's hell expensive, man. PS5 is like over $1,000 AUD. So we'll have to think about that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're only 19 likes away from 100 likes. Please, let's get to 100 immediately. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'll be back again for the Manchester Derby watch along, so do look out for that. Once again, much appreciated for joining each and every one of you guys for the stream. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, see ya.